Hey,
Yes, we are live. Happy New Year, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're joining us from. Welcome again to the Balanced Me Show in the Bloom Lounge. This is our first show in the year 2022. How has the year been with you? It's been 27 days in the year 2022. How are you all doing? Awesome, right? Yeah, I want you to drop your comments in the chat box. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to 2022. On in this lounge is been an amazing journey so far. We started last year and we treated quite a number of topics last year. In this lounge, we are treating the powers that can help us live our life and have good results. Last year, we treated the power of meditation. We treated forgiveness. We did power of journaling, power of clarity, power of choice, and we did the power of clarity, and Aya Lawrence took it, and that was the last one we did. That was the last one we treated last year, and it was a fantastic one. Today we are talking about the power of gratitude. And before we go on, I would like you to drop in your chat box 5 things you are grateful for. Are you doing that? I want you to drop 5 things you're grateful for. Yeah, I'm grateful for the gift of life, gift of essence. I'm grateful for my internal and external organs. I'm grateful for the air that I breathe. I'm super, super, super grateful to God for everything, for helping us see the year 2022. So we're talking about the power of gratitude, and we have Mr. Praise for in the house. We're going to be having him. I want you to drop your questions in the chat box. I want us to bombard him with questions. So be expecting your questions in the chat box. So the science of happiness says that the more gratitude we show, the more gratitude we give, the more happy we are. And this is what we want to talk about today. Mr. Price is going to help us to understand the science behind giving gratitude, being grateful in everything that we do. And before we call him in, I want to invite Mrs. Ayo Lawrence. Ayo is here. She's going to talk to us and she's going to tell us what the Bloom Lounge is all about. Ayo Lawrence, are you here? Can
yes,
you
I'm
hear
here.
me? Yeah, please. I
Yes, I
want you
can.
to
Can you
tell
hear me
us
too?
what for. Yeah, I can hear you clearly. For those that are joining us for the first time, I want you to introduce to them the Balanced Me Show in the Bloom Lounge. What is Balanced Me Show in the Bloom Lounge? I yield the mic, Aya.
Thank you so much. Good day, everybody. It's almost nighttime at my end. I'm actually out of my base. And yes. So what's the Balance Me Show? So on the Balance Me Show, we look at those things that we need to ensure that as individuals, we get the best out of our lives. So what are those things that we need, to be balanced, to live in harmony, to experience bliss as individuals. So those are the things that we treat generally in on the Balanced Me Show. And we say we have the Balanced Me Show in the Bloom Lounge. Like Evan said, we've treated quite a number of things in the past. And this for today, we are treating the power of gratitude. And that's one thing that I'm so interested in. And I would like Mr. Prespo, who happens to be the coach to myself and Evo, and our mentor as well, to just say one or two things. We'll be asking him some questions. But before we do, he'll just share with us a few things he knows About gratitude. Then we'll just move into asking questions, and he will oblige us by answering our questions. But before we do that, Ebo, I think you have one or two questions for Mr. Praise before we go on.
Yeah, PF, welcome. Good evening. How are you doing, PF?
I'm excellent. Good to be with you guys. I'm glad to be on the show. I know you. You guys have been persistent trying to get me on the show, and you finally. I couldn't. There was no idea when we agree on the date. I thought that it was a way to discard and escape, but now the date has come. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's another way to know that if you set a deadline, the deadline will surely come. If you work
Mm.
towards it, there is no date that is too far. All right, people are only the ones who think that 10 years, is a far date. It's not. It's going to come. So I'm excited to be here, and I love what you guys are discussing today.
Yeah, thank you so much, PF, and we're glad to have you. One of the things we're grateful for is that we're grateful we're able to bring you on the show. Thank you, PF. So let's just dive into the topic of the day, and that is the power of gratitude. So, of course, usually we'll start with what is. So maybe I should just start with that. PF, what is gratitude? I
Oh,
want you to tell us everything we need to know about gratitude.
okay. When we mention the word gratitude and my approach to every word I teach, every word I study, is to look at the etymology of the word because that's the best way to understand any word. Etymology is the first time that word was used. So for us to know the gratitude was originally even not an English word. It was originally a Latin word which means gratitude, right? And gratitude simply means pleasing, welcome, agreeable. Is also the root word for grace, right? Which is charisma. When we say I have grace, it's the word for gratuity. So when someone finishes serving and he says, I'm going to get gratuity, it's still the same word, gratus, that means gratuity. It's still the same word as gratis. So gratitude simply signifies positive mood, actions, and ideas. I'll take that again. Gratitude signifies positive mood, actions, and ideas. And that's why we say that the highest form of vibration. Now, if you're a student of energy, vibration, and frequency, you will know that we all vibrate at certain levels. And so we say that the highest form of vibration is gratitude because gratitude leads to appreciation, especially if you can, because it's threefold again. Gratitude is falls into there are three ways to apply gratitude. You need to recognize it, you need to acknowledge it, and it must lead to appreciation. Now, when it leads to appreciation, then there is no way you can be grateful for anything and there is earth in your heart. So if I ask you, look at three things to be grateful for, right? You realize that you're full of excitement, you're full of what is working, you're full of, there is a lot of positive moods, and that's a mood everyone wants to be at all times. So oftentimes when I have people who, have negative things to say about someone else and that's all they see, I would always ask, so what are you grateful for about this person? Because we would hardly exaggerate what is good about people. We would normally exaggerate what we think is bad about them. And so, if you're working with people and someone says, my husband is a bad man, or this person is a bad man, and you ask them to write what is good about the person and what is bad about the person, they would hardly repeat what is good. I mean, when it means they would hardly exaggerate or say it in a different way. But when it comes to what is bad, so you will hear he likes women, he commits adultery, that's true, he runs after everything in skirt, he's uncontrollable sexually. Those are four things that is still one thing. But when you ask them to talk about, what is good about the person, they might say he's very intelligent, they might say he's responsible, they might say he's a good father and things. So they never. So oftentimes we undermine what is good and we exaggerate what is bad. And because we are socialized to observe what is bad and commonize what is good, we often lack the capacity to find what we are grateful for. And not finding gratitude is why people get into sadness, people get into depression, people get into some mental health problems, and even some what do you call it now, some sicknesses within their body, because gratitude comes in form of congruence. It leads to wholeness within you. And once you step out of gratitude, uneasiness is what happens, wherein you see everything that is bad around you. You no longer see anything that is good. And if you are looking for what is bad, there is a lot that is bad. If you live in Nigeria, for example, you can see the leaders, you can see the example drivers, you can see the people you work with, you can see, before you know it, you have complained about everything and everyone, but you have forgotten the fact that, you have not thought about, can you imagine a world? Imagine Lagos with only you, since you are the only one that is good. Imagine you are the only one in Lagos, there is no other person. What would your life look like? You will still complain that there are no human beings here, right? Imagine so the people you even say trouble you, which is why you see a lot of wives or husbands who say, oh, my wife, my husband is troubling me, troubling me. Then the person dies, then they start crying because troubling you is actually part of life. So people need to understand that if you want to vibrate and access all that the universe has got for you, gratitude is the way. As a matter of fact, gratitude is a magnet that attracts into your life what is you desire as if it were already present. Once you are grateful for what you have, grateful for others, then you begin to attract into your life what is working for them. And that's why it cannot just be what we do when we want to pray. It must be a way of life wherein your life itself is a gratitude to humanity. People are grateful for your excellence. So your competence is a measure of gratitude to your boss, right? Your boss must be grateful that, wow, I am grateful we have this person. So it's not just there are different dimensions to gratitude. There is the word of mouth gratitude, there is the thought version of gratitude, then there is the action side of gratitude, right? Where words is the lowest level, the thought process or the meditative gratitude is very evident. The action gratitude is the value you add to humanity. Imagine our life without cars. So every time we drive cars, right, that is gratitude to the person. We are grateful for the person who invented cars, because imagine Ayo is in Ilorin. She was telling me she was in Lagos. Now she's in Ilorin. Imagine if she had to walk to Ilorin. I don't know how she can join this show, right? She will be too tired, So those are things that we take for granted. That maybe we met cars on this planet. Maybe we can type. Even the internet, even the screen that we're using, right? It's someone's competence that has birthed what is making us reach a whole lot of people. So there is a whole lot to be grateful for around us, but we must be able to spot those things and not just look at them as common, right? And that is why you need to understand in a nutshell that gratitude, right, it signifies positive mood, positive action, and positive ideas. That you can never be short of ideas if your default life is gratitude. You can never be stranded if your default is gratitude. As a matter of fact, one of the things I say to people is this, that whenever God wants to do something for you, no, or whenever you desire something from God, He will make it happen for someone around you that you detest or that you think does not deserve it, to test your reaction. If your reaction is gratitude for the person, you magnetize the same into your life. But if your reaction is scorn, right, it moves away. That's why good moves away from many people, because they are never grateful for people who have or display those goods that do not fall into the worldview of what they consider as right or wrong or righteousness or whatever. And that's why you see me, if I hear any good news about anyone, you see me open my room and I start, I don't even know the person, but I'm dancing, right? Because I am genuinely grateful that in our time, someone is producing that kind of result. And it's a good mode for your mind, because if you are perpetually in gratitude, then you can't even experience things like high blood pressure and many of the debilitating ailments that people talk about, because you can actually, I learned something called your capacity to excite yourself. If your cells are excited, they will work for you. If your cells are not excited, they will work against you. And you want, as a human being, for your cells to work for you. So you excite them through gratitude, that when they are excited, then your white blood cell is able to fight every ailment that may want to occur within your system. And so I do that all the time when I'm doing my gratitude. I am grateful for my soldiers, the white blood cell that can fight every form of infection. I am grateful for my legs that carry me, because you can take that for granted. If everybody's walking, if my leg goes on strike today, I'm grateful for my eyes that see, grateful for my mouth that can talk, grateful for my hands. Imagine if your hand goes on strike, right? And says, because you are not even grateful, we just assume that. And we have seen people who are falling sick, who used to be agile, and you have seen, it's a bad place you want to be when you are in that mode. So, in a nutshell, gratitude is the highest level of vibration that exists, that the more you master it, the more you can vibrate at certain level, beyond human comprehension, and the more you can birth innovation that makes you indispensable to the human race. Yeah.
Wow, that was loaded, PF. That was loaded. The question is, what is gratitude? And you have come in different directions. Thank you, PF. Thank you, PF. If I can hear you, you're saying that the only way to excite ourselves and it will help us live a healthy life is if we live a lifestyle of gratitude.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, PF. So, what you're saying in essence is that we need to learn to live in gratitude. PF, when you were talking, you mentioned our environment. You talked about Lagos, the kind of life we live here in Nigeria. If you think about all those things, how can we intentionally do it? So, when you were talking, you also talked about the alignment. Because if we're saying it, there must be an alignment between what we are saying and what's going on in our mind.
Yeah.
So when we think about the things happening around us, how can we? So can we just be saying, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for, and it is not in alignment with what's going on in our mind?
Your mind knows when you are not in alignment. Your mind knows that you're only doing mouth exercise when it's not
Yeah.
heartfelt, right? And that's why the heartfeltness, the capacity for it to be heartfelt. So congruence only happens when there's alignment between your words, thoughts, and action, right? And so I used to get angry a lot when I drive around Lagos way back, but the moment I switched to enjoy, the beauty of the driving and the comedy it creates for me, I became very grateful. And so I'm smiling, because I always have to ask myself, do I want situation to control me, or do I want to control the situation? I always want to be in charge. And that is why I believe whosoever can get you sad is in control of your life. And I'm never going to allow any situation to control me. So I always say I am in Lagos, but I am not of Lagos, which is synonymous to the scripture that says you are in the world, but you are not of the world. What that has given you is the capacity to create your world within the world you live in. So what did I do? I scripted my life in a way that I do not see what many people see. All right. So I ensure that, for example, that my distance between my office to my house is a bike distance from the get-go. I must be able to fly a bike from my house to my office. All right. And so that way I don't see traffic. Traffic does not see me. And I must close. So I get to work early and I close at a time that there won't be traffic and things like that. So it boils down to you and what you see. right? And so what I've also done is to learn how to excuse people or step into their world without allowing them infiltrate my world. To say their reality is their reality. My reality is my reality. And my reality is the reality I create, not the reality Nigeria has created for me. Now, I learned many years ago that there were places in Nigeria, for example, that enjoys uninterrupted power supply, and light has not gone off in those places for like 10 years, right? And so if you go to those ones and you say there is up NEPA, they don't understand what you're talking about, right? There was a joke of a child in New York who, no, I think it was in Texas, and they said there was a flood, I think last year or something, and for the first time in their lives there was power outage. The boys began to cry that he's going blind because he had never seen lights out before, right? But someone else already expects that light will be taken away at 9 o'clock. But you always have to ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? Do I want positivity or do I want negativity? I always say that happiness is creating the heaven within you in a way that the hell without you, becomes, invalidates the hell without you. So you need to always choose yourself to know that your capacity to see is dependent on the representation systems and the filters you have built. So many people are in Lagos who say Lagos is art, but many people within the artness are seeing opportunities and they are claiming billions. People are saying, oh, times are hard, but some people are making serious. In fact, some of them are exceeding their target consistently for the first time in their life within the hardship of what they call the economy, simply because their attitude. So if you go through the Bible, it talks about they sent 10 spies to go check, is it 10 or 12 spies to go check a place? And some of them came back and they saw the children of Anakim and they say, oh, wow, these guys they are giants, they are blah, 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 blah. But two people came back and they said, wow, we are able to go up. We saw the fruit, we saw the tree, so the difference is in attitude. And attitude is a state of the mind. Now, gratitude itself is a form of attitude that if you sink it in, no matter what is happening around you, it will begin to produce the result you want, because eventually, what do you want? Is the chaos you see in Lagos what you want? Or what you want is the beauty and the benefit that Lagos has to offer you? So if it's the chaos you want, then you complain about the driver, you complain about the driver you complain about who is driving irrationally. What school did he go? You don't know what happened in the morning. Maybe his wife has locked him up and locked him and he couldn't provide food. His children is sent out of school. There is no way it can be normal. But will you now allow a situation to get into you and mess up your own sanity? The answer is no. So you put them in a place where they are unable to infect you, because at the end of the day, who you are is who you want to be at every point in time. And if excitement, if positivity, if alignment, if success is what you want, you need to understand that your mind is the engineering system that will produce and attract that into your life. So what you want to do is you can look at the glass and say it's half full, even though it's half empty. Even when it's almost empty, oh, you can say, wow, you love the fact that water is there, water is coming into this, and very soon it's going to be filled. So if you train yourself to spot the silver cloud in the silver lining in every dark cloud, which is why I do the activity of going to count stars every night, right? Because everywhere looks dark, but there are stars within the sky, and the more you observe it, initially you just seem like there's one star, but the more you look at that star, which is a form of gratitude, you begin to see more stars show up. That is to say to you, is the clearest indicator that all you see is all you see, but all you see is not all there is to see. There is much more around you than you are not seeing, but lack of ingratitude will block you to the things you should see. So people ask me all the time, Prince, how are you able to see these things that we are not able to see, right? And I always say to them, I live in gratitude. I'm excited about life, and I understand the three dimensions of gratitude. So at the end of the day, what kind of world do you want? Do you want a world where you go to bed sad that nobody's talking to you, sad that everything is against me, or a world where you are in control, right? I want to be above. And since I know that gratitude is like a bouncing castle, the more you do it, the more it bounces you up, right? And so I want to bounce above the situation. If I am grateful for a situation, then I'm above it. If I'm ungrateful for the situation, then I'm below it. And you can't command what you are below. You can also command what you are at par with. You only command what you are above. So I get into gratitude and it bounces me above the situation. I'm able to see for what it is, then I'm able to conquer it. And that's what I always say to people, that you need to embrace an attitude of gratitude.
Embracing the attitude of gratitude. PF, you have said a lot. And I was just thinking, one of the reasons why we are treating these topics is because not that people have not heard of these words before, but because people don't understand it. They say lift your hands and give great gratitude to God, appreciate God and all. And so from what you're saying now, I'm beginning to see the reason why when some of us do those things, we are not getting the results.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it
Yeah.
is because we don't really understand it. It's not an activity.
Yeah.
It is an act that we're supposed to inculcate, a
Yeah.
lifestyle. And when you were talking, you said something about, so you didn't use the word perspective, but you mentioned that you set the tone to the way you see things. That means you change the perspective, you change the meaning
Yeah.
that you give to situation around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it means you also contributed something into it
Yes.
by changing the meaning.
Yes.
And when you do that, you're able to see things differently.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're able to give gratitude to God. And that alignment that I was talking about initially, you now experience that alignment, right?
Yes. Yes.
Changing the perspective helps you calm yourself inside.
Yes.
Yeah. So, viewers, I hope you understand what we're trying to explain here to say that if you have been doing the power of gratitude, you have been grateful, you wake up in the morning, Olu share, and you say all those kind of things, and you're not experiencing what PF is talking about, it is beyond just opening your mouth to talk. Like we said, part of the things we are treating, the reason why we're treating these topics in the Blooms and the Balance Me show is because we want us to have balanced life. And so we need to understand this. If you understand how something works, you're able to make good use of that thing and it gives you the result that you desire. You said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So if you're here, you've been engaging in gratitude, the quote and unquote kind of
With mouth.
gratitude. Yeah, I believe you're learning now that,
Just mouth.
see, you need to also set the tone for yourself. In that way, you're able to
Yeah.
do away with whatever pain, discomfort that you are feeling inside you, and you're able to genuinely express your gratitude. When I started, I said something about the science of happiness, said that when you want to be happy, you need to be grateful to God. You need to show gratitude for everything. And PF has said a lot of things, said creating the heaven within you so that the hell without you is not able to overshadow or overtake you. That is where we are. That's what I'm talking about now. That is the power. That is perspective. When you change the perspective, what is it you're going through that is making you feel, oh, this life? And so you look at it, well, why will I even be grateful? What is happening around me? The things around me are not even, I have been there and I understand it. And really, I am learning this night. And I hope you are also learning. Please, I need you to start dropping your questions in the
Yeah,
chat box so that PF can respond. Yeah, Aya, you want to say something?
I wanted to say something. Yes. I
Yeah, okay.
live in Lagos. Even though tonight I'm in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria, West Africa, Africa. One of the things I do, and a lot of people around me, they are yet to understand this,
Looks like Ayo's
they
Okay.
network.
come to
Yeah,
terms
I
with it
think
is
it's.
you can never catch me
Oh wow. I think Ayo's internet is
Grateful
me.
for him.
Sorry, I'm back.
we are grateful. We are grateful for Ayo's
Okay, yeah.
internet.
Yeah, so I'm in Ilorin. So what I said is you can't catch me upset because of traffic. Because
Mm.
I know I'm in Lagos. And Lagos and traffic, they work hand in hand. So even if you go out and there is no traffic, it's strange. So why should I work myself up? So as I'm going out, I already know what I want to do while I'm in the traffic. So it's either I'm listening to something, I'm working on something. So the time is not wasted. So I'm not worked up. I'm always grateful, for everything. So it's important that people begin to understand that bit, that, like PF said, create the atmosphere, the environment, what you want. If you continue to complain, you know, gratitude definitely is far away from you, and you won't be able to take delivery of those things that you
Mm.
really, 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 really want to see in your life. So I just said areas where there are loads and loads of traffic. Let's just enjoy it. Make up our minds, not to allow that to work us up and make us to begin to live lives of ingratitude.
Mm. Thank you so much for your contribution. It's not even about traffic alone. It can be any situation in your life that you're going through.
I'm
Like
back.
PF said, can you think about the good thing about what's that good thing that you can say? Is it somebody that is upsetting you? What's that good thing that you can mention? What has that person added to you when you start thinking about those things? So I remember last year after goal scoring class in January, and we're told to write the gratitude journal, to have our gratitude journal. Initially the way I started, I just write thank you for life, thank you for. But before I know it, after a month, I started having reasons to be grateful. I started seeing other things that ordinarily I'll just be like, it's just there, just like Pierre said, your leg. You have your leg, you can just take it for granted. These are little things we need to be grateful for. And PF, you mentioned that gratitude is the highest level of vibration.
Yes.
Highest level of vibration. PF, do you want to explain that?
Okay, so there are different. I mean, if you're a student of vibration, you know that there are different levels of vibration. You can vibrate, you can vibe on different counts, but if you want to get to the highest level, of expression of the totality of you, never forget that you did not come here just to play. So when people pray the prayer and says, I will not die, I will live to declare the glory of God. Now, the mistake they make is when they think to declare the glory of God, they think is to witness with their mouth. And that's a wrong teaching. To declare the glory of God is your life manifesting at the highest level of humanity and a divinity in a way that you are indispensable everywhere you found yourself. So if I make pencil or biro, and the biro enables you to write an exam, that biro is the so you say, oh, thank God for my biro. That biro, which is an extension of me, is declaring the glory of God. So many people, their lives is not declaring any glory. Their life, yes, they are saying, I will not die, I shall live, because they are not really, really useful to humanity. So when you understand, like I mentioned, gratitude is not just your words, gratitude is also your life, which is why you are motivated to work on yourself and produce incredible results that makes the world a better place. Now, so when you begin to vibe at that frequency where you no longer see evil, everything is good, where you are no longer troubled by the people around you that you can't even see. I mean, someone can come and meet me, for example. If I love someone, there is nothing you will say about the person that we even, because even their bad side, I don't even see it, right?
Mm.
Because it's a decision,
From
right?
his behavior.
So when you begin to vibrate at the frequency of gratitude, what begins to happen is you have zero capacity for negativity, right? There is positivity all around you, which is the default mode you want to be. And at that level, your words, you have genuine things to be grateful for. You have genuine things to think about. So when you are alone, there are thoughts that never cross your mind. So, for example, instead of thoughts about they don't like me, I am grateful that my life is I'm indispensable to humanity. That is what is coming to your mind. What is coming to your mind is, oh, what can I innovate for humanity? How can I help that organization become better? How can I now contrast that to somebody's mind to say, that person's what they even said? Why did they say that about me? Is it that they don't like me? Is it your mind is chaotic, right? But
Mm.
if your mind is full of gratitude, you are looking at everything that is working, right? And even the things that is working, you are simulating their capacity to work. You are looking for people who those things are working for, and you are getting into gratitude for them, bringing it into your life. Then your action are positive. Now, so when you understand that, your life begins to manifest at the frequency of congruence, where great peace is the those that love me and nothing makes them afraid. It says it will keep in perfect peace whose imagination has laid hold on him, right? It's a level where you are 100% God, 100% man. You are like an example of divinity that when you speak or when you work, when you deliver, I mean, and I'll tell you this with all due respect and humility, that there are things I do and I know that I did not study, right? I did not study. I mean, all I do is get into gratitude. And I think there's one of my mentees who said to me, she wanted to learn how to create content, right? And what she did was she put my name on her list every morning. She gets into gratitude to say, I'm grateful for Precious' capacity to create content. I'm grateful for, she said to me by herself that she did that for 10 months, thereabout. Now, if you see her now, she's creating incredible content. I didn't even know she was doing that. But now she's creating amazing content that is helping people achieve wholeness, get them become more happy and things like that. So we do not know the capacity we have been given to attract everything we want into our life through gratitude. And that's why if you look for someone that you desire something in them and you get into gratitude for them consistently, you begin to magnify that into your life. I'm not sure of any other level of vibration that can magnetize things into your life like gratitude will do. And that's why we say that it's the highest form of vibration.
Mm.
Thank you, PF. Gratitude, the highest level of vibration. Saying that, okay, so I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Saying that it helps you to find full expression to your essence. Is that what you're saying, Pierre?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whoa.
When the Bible says that these people come near with their mouth, but their heart is far away. That's the way some human beings are. When you are with them, they say, oh, we love you, but their heart is far away. When you are not there, what they say in their mind about you is why they can't benefit from you.
Well,
Because you can't benefit from what you scorn, right? So, and that's why it looks like their life is not working. So,
mm.
on one hand, I can look at Ayo and say, Ayo is fantastic. But when Ayo leaves my presence, what does my mind say about Ayo, right? So if my mind begins saying, a useless girl, and a useless woman, blah, 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 I have defeated what I have said by my thoughts, and that is lack of congruence, right? And so lack of congruence will unsettle, will unbalance you, and will make what you truly desire move away from you. But if you can settle into that alignment to say, you know what, this is what I believe, this is, no matter what you are saying, I'm not even saying it, my heart, my mouth, my action is way aligned in the direction of this. And so when you do that, there are things you magnetize into your life that no school can teach you, right? Because that is the frequency. Your frequency picks it, and your vibration aligns with it, and it becomes your reality.
Thank you, PF. Thank you so much. Your vibration help you to access the capacity that is within you. It helps the potential in you find the fullest expression. Thank you. Aya, do you have any question for PF? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I said at the moment, no. But I think I'll just, can I add, and can I put in a word or two?
So before you just hold your thoughts, let me ask PF this question. PF, what is the difference between gratitude and thanksgiving?
Okay. I think it's a matter of semantics again, and English. Thanksgiving can be used interchangeably with gratitude. But I think gratitude is it's a being, it's a state, right? Thanksgiving is oftentimes an action, right? So if you imbibe the attitude of gratitude, of course you'll be thankful. I mean, if you looked at the original etymological definition I gave, Thanksgiving was part of what gratitude could be, but you can be, thankful without being grateful, but you can't get into gratitude without being thankful. So it's a way of life for you. So it's irrespective of what happened, so it doesn't even need to happen before you are grateful for it. That's why it's a vibration, it's an energy, it's a being, right? And sometimes Thanksgiving, you believe that it has happened, and that's why you're doing that. Even though sometimes you can be thankful for what has not happened for it to happen, But so if you do that, that's gratitude you are doing, all right? And so gratitude is a being. It's a being. It's a state you want to be. It's something that you want to define you, right? Because you consistently want to live up to your highest aspiration and highest ideals at every point in time. So yeah, it can be what about semantics and can be used interchangeably. I don't like to get into that. For me, what result can it produce is what I concern myself with. So whether you call it Yoruba name, or you call it Hausa name, or you call it Igbo name, or you call it, even you say it's praise giving, or you say it's Ayo giving, or you say it's Ebun giving. What does it mean to you, and what result is he able to produce? That's what I concern myself with.
Thank you. Thank you, PF. Are you sure we're not going to have a part 2 of this? Because I'm beginning to see different things to this word gratitude. So you just said that Thanksgiving is because something happened.
Yeah,
that's why we give thanks to God.
Yeah, in many
but
cases.
Gratitude, in many cases, gratitude, irrespective of you see it, you're not seeing it, you're just grateful, and in that way, you attract more grace to yourself.
Yeah, and let me say this, Ebon. Let me say this, Ebon. There is a fundamental error people make. So you hear them say things like, Bill Gates made Microsoft, but is Bill Gates giving glory to God? Now, giving glory to God for them is he comes to church and shares testimony. No. once is perform what is once his invention is performing and making life easy for people, it's already
It's
giving glory
already
to.
giving glory.
So it's
Yeah.
not, let your competence, let your
Mm.
innovation become visible among humanity, that they can see the impact of what you have created, and based
Mm.
on that impact, it elicits glory to your Father in heaven. So everything people, many things people do is just religious activity and religious exercise. I don't need to show up anywhere. I don't even need to say, you say, why don't you give glory to God? No, you don't need to tell me to give glory to God. You look at what because of what essence is your life when your mouth is giving glory to God and your life is not inspiring anybody. Your competence is mediocrity. What are you giving? What glory are you giving? To who? So that's why I don't want us to dwell so much on the mouth side, which is the same problem in prayers. That prayer is a combination of words, thought, and action. In fact, the most powerful part is the thought and the action part, which is why we love the activity of prayer. I don't think we pray, right? And you could see I wrote an article on when the eagles and when the chicken and the frogs decided to pray together. I don't know if you read it. I wrote it on social media. The eagle, the chicken and the frogs decided to have a joint prayer meeting. And it was November, and they were having prayer meeting to say that we don't want, we shall not live, we shall die. Every force that doesn't want us to see
Mhm.
the new year, let them die by fire, right? But there was one chicken there who said, oh, while you were praying, I was watching the news. And I saw on the news that there's a new technology that can make you develop wings and soar like the eagle. That I think we should do it. And all the people praying say, no, 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 that's not the will of God. Let's just be praying. God can do it and blah, 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 blah. And that chicken stopped talking to them. The chicken simply went to take the technology and began to soar like the eagle, flew away from all of them. But when it was December time, Christmas time, the owner of the chicken slaughtered all of them. They sold all of them. But by the time all of them died, the frog now began to share testimony to say their prayer work, God has He spared our life. They were doing Thanksgiving, God spared our life. But by January of that year, Chinese began to move into that locality. And all these Chinese moving in, they love to eat frog. So question is,
Mm.
will the prayer of the frog still be answered, or what is going to happen?
No,
So that
no,
was
no.
where I ended it. So we do not understand that if we sit with, I just want to be thanking God in my room. No, your life can people look at your life and they are grateful to your Father in heaven? Can your life pass the test of gratitude, right? To say we are
Mm.
grateful for we are grateful for our competence, we are grateful for our thought. When she writes, we are grateful for this thought, we are grateful for this show. So Ayo doesn't need to finish this show and say, God, I'm grateful. No, this, as long as it's solving human problem, is interpreted as praising God and is gratitude to God. Whatever anybody has to say is irrelevant. So I needed to put that out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that. Very important. Saying that whatever you do, as many people that are using it and they are praising God, they are giving gratitude to God on your behalf, you are also giving gratitude to God, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the story of the eagle,
Mm.
I wish
Yeah.
they I wish they did what the other chicken did so that all of them. And anyways, thank you, PF, for this beautiful session. And guys, I hope you can listen. I hope you can hear what praise Mr.
Mm.
Praise has explained about gratitude. Gratitude is the highest form of vibration. Gratitude
Check
attracts
this.
attracts grace to you. When you're full of
Mm.
gratitude, you live a life of happiness. Gratitude is a lifestyle. We need to let our default response be gratitude, but we cannot operate at this level if we cannot change our perspective, the meaning we read to things. Because when we read the right meanings to situation, we are able to see the need and the reason to be grateful to God. Powerful one.
Mm.
Thank you so much, PF. And there's a place where you said that you're able to recognize, acknowledge, and lead and live in that sphere. Do you want to explain that aspect to us, please?
What
Acknowledging, recognizing, acknowledging,
oh, okay.
and living the life of appreciation.
So You see, the first stage, like I mentioned, is you need to recognize. You need to recognize your pain. You need to recognize, the people who are vibrating at who occupy the space you want to be, right? So you need to be able to identify and recognize them. Then you need to acknowledge that this is working for them, right? Because
Mm.
sometimes when you see, let's say you're a Christian and you see a Buddhist manifesting at something at the highest level, the default response, and I think it's a demonic, conditioning, is that after all, you go to a fire. That's a default religious response, and it's terrible, right? What you are saying is God cannot do anything outside of your non-expression of God, right? So you deprive yourself of what? So you must, one, recognize that this is still God at work. Maybe it might not be the way I know. Number two, you need to acknowledge that that is working, and you get into appreciation. And you know, the word appreciation means increase, right? For something to appreciate, if you say stock or shares appreciate, or a company has appreciated, it talks about increase, right? Which is what gratitude, is all about, right? So it's important for people to understand that, if you can't recognize, and I think that's why Yoruba people try to even understand it a bit when they say that the person who is thoughtful is grateful, kind of, and or something that. But I would also add that the person who can activate his capacity to see and
Mm.
acknowledge and assess and appropriate what is around him will perpetually magnetize things into his life through the frequency of gratitude. So you need to recognize wherever it's found. You need to acknowledge wherever it's found, and you need to appreciate whatever it is. So that's
Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, PF.
Fantastic,
Um,
fantastic. Yeah, I yield the mic to you, Ayo.
yes. There's a particular thing I've come to realize, because I found out that even when you have a need and you wrap it up in gratitude,
Hmm.
the feeling you have is that of it being delivered to you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you wrap it up in gratitude, you feel so glad, you feel so happy, you feel it's been done.
Mm-hmm.
So just, encouraging as many people as are, logged in, those who would watch, gratitude is something we need to add to our lives. And even for me as a person, I even find it very, very difficult to pray the way I used to. You know, I find it so difficult. So even if there is a need, I just wrap it up in thanking, in gratitude. Lord, I'm grateful because this has been released to me.
Hmm.
And I feel so good. I feel so light. I see it done. And in no time, it finds expression. So gratitude, the power of gratitude is enormous. And we need to, add that to our lives. We need to ensure that gratitude is part of the things we engage in from time to time. We don't have to earmark a time for it. No, just make it a lifestyle. As
Hmm.
you move around, as you wake up, you're just full of gratitude. So it's important we add that to our lives. Whenever I have opportunity to share some things with people, I tell them that when I wake up with so much energy. I just tell myself the queen is awake. She's
Hmm.
grateful for another beautiful day, grateful for the people I'm going to meet today, grateful for the deals I'm going to clinch today, grateful for the lives I'm going to impact. And I wake up with so much energy, always looking forward to another day. So when people have gratitude, as something they engage in as a lifestyle, they'll find out that their lives take another turn. There's a particular book I've read almost over 60 times now. And there's
Hmm.
a particular chapter in that book, gratitude, chapter 7, gratitude. Each time I get to that chapter, I just smile because it has given me another outlook to life. So, gratitude is a must. So, if you're on this call tonight and you are still thinking, This one, I'm now shoving it down your throat. Gratitude is a must. So I just said, let me add my own word from my own experience of living a life of gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, PF. We know that you're a very busy person, and we appreciate this 55 minutes you've spent with us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Before we release you, PF, what do you have? Your last
Last
word for
word.
us.
Okay.
Last word.
I will say to people that, you see, you can live in the frequency of sadness or you can live in the frequency of joy. It's a choice. And you need to understand that heaven is an experience, the same way hell is an experience. So it's not that when you die, you go to one place. You're already in hell or you're already in heaven by your nature and by your action. So if you are comfortable with hellfire, you're already fine. So there is no afterwards God will bear you out. No, because when your spirit die, will continue the journey. So and if you are comfortable with hell, that's also fine. But today you can cross over from hell to heaven by
Thank you.
reworking what is working within you and move yourself away from everything mankind has created to create barriers that can promote hatred, that can promote hurt, and that was the first thing I did. I moved away from all of them, wherein you can now learn to appreciate the beauty of humanity. And there's no way you appreciate beauty that beauty won't be your default. In fact, every time, so this is what happened. There's something we call imprinting or patterning. Every time I look at what is good about I, and everything I see is being painted, the equivalent material equivalent of that is being painted. There is a brush that is painting it in my mind. And every time I look at her and I say she's ugly, and in my mind, the ugly version is being painted in my mind. And that's why you realize that people are not happy and they don't know where their unhappiness is coming from. If you ask them, how
Sure.
many things have you been grateful for today? They can't even tell, because their default is to always find fault and look at what is wrong. And that's why their life is very ugly. So, and that is hellfire. So if you can be speaking in tongues and being hellfire, because it's an experience. So what you want to do is to move camp and start with go out of your way, look around you, look for beauty, be grateful for the beauty, be grateful for people that own big houses, small houses, be grateful for people using kekenape, be grateful for Okada riders. Just be grateful. See all of them as extension of you. Do that exercise tonight and let me know how you feel when you get to your own. You realize that you feel very good, calm, and relaxed. And that's the taste of heaven. If you can do that consistently, you'll perpetually live in heaven. Thank you very much.
Whoa, PF. And that's a beautiful one. Thank you. Thank you so much. We want to live in heaven consistently. Want to live in heaven. You want to consistently live in a state of harmony, peace, and tranquility. Then you need to live a life of gratitude. That is where it is. That is a new learning for the year, for the journey ahead in 2022. I want to encourage every one of us watching and those that will watch later to take heed to this advice, to this counsel, to consistently be in a state of happiness. Don't give yourself too much stress. You don't have to please everybody. Just ensure that inside you are experiencing the kind of happiness you want. PF, you are saying something about if we continue to live in hell on earth, does it mean that it will translate to hell in heaven
Your,
when we
your,
live here?
your spirit doesn't get born again when you die. Your spirit continues to move. So if your spirit is hell here, it will continue an hellish experience even in the hereafter. Yeah, that's
So
that's how.
you're saying one of the things that will qualify us to live with Christ is the way we live here in our mind, our state.
That's that's
And
what
that's
that's what
why it's a
that's what I believe.
lifestyle.
You can't say Christ is the Prince of Peace and you are chaotic and you think
Yeah,
after you die.
turbulence.
Yeah, no. It must show in your peaceful environment and the heaven you create. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, PF. Thank you so much. I think we lost Ayo, probably the network, but it's almost an hour already, and we don't want to keep you. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye
And we're
bye.
going to have you back. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. It's been a fantastic and a wonderful 1 hour with Praise for Wowe. And I believe that we all have learned one or two things from this conversation, saying that life of gratitude. I am also a victim. In fact, he has touched a lot of, he shook a lot of table for me this night to say that if I want to consistently be happy, I need to live a life of gratitude. I need to change my perspective to the way I see things and consistently be in a state of happiness. So when I read the right meanings to situation, when I choose to see the right things, positive things about every situation, then I'm able to live in a state of gratitude and I'm able to my life is able to find the fullest expression. He also mentioned something about if you're able to live in that stage, you're productive, you're creative. And when he was talking about recognizing, acknowledging, and leads to all this leads to appreciation, he said you should be able to recognize one person, one being, and appreciate God, be grateful for that person. This evening, I'm grateful for Mark Zuckerberg because he has helped us to have this access. I'm grateful to Aya Lawrence because she was the one that thought of this program and she birthed it. I'm so grateful for Praise Forward because he came this evening to give us this powerful teaching. And I'm grateful for the gift of life. What are you grateful for, guys? And what do you want to do differently? One of the things that will help you achieve your goals at the end of 2022 is the lifestyle that you live. And we are encouraging you this evening, this afternoon, wherever you are watching us from, to embrace the power of gratitude. Make it your default response. And I'm also going to encourage us to have a kind of a journal where you. So that's what I did throughout last year. Where when you wake up in the morning, you write 10 things you're grateful to God for. That's how to start a lifestyle. That's how to cultivate an habit. When you do that every day, you see things, you see reasons to be grateful. And so I want you to cultivate the habit. You have a journal, gratitude journal, and this will help you. Thank you for joining us once again this evening. This first meeting is a powerful one. See you in February when we'll be discussing another power that can help you live a balanced life. I guess we lost Ayo. We lost Ayo via probably the internet or something, but I'm sure she'll be around in February and we're going to have a beautiful ride. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye bye.